And I know something interesting happened to you at the supermarket.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
So this video talking to a 21-year-old from North America, now currently residing in the Philippines for now, wanting to pick his brain a little, what he thinks about the Philippines and what he does here and so on and so forth. This is Christopher. On your trip to the Philippines, anything about the trip you want to talk about?
Well, starting off by getting searched in the Canadian place
So why did they search you?
for finding suspicious materials on my stuff, my
Yeah.
PlayStation.
And I think in the end they just told you to wash your hands more, right?
I mean, what it was some sort of residue of chemical things. I mean, it's probably from my CDs since I was taking out every single one of my CDs. I mean, within 1,200 mostly used cases, I'm sure there was some of them that probably were near some sort of suspicious chemicals, most likely. Who knows what some of these people use. So,
Would you recommend traveling with a PS5?
yeah, I mean, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. As long as you're not touching 1,200 used CDs the day before. My headset was smashed and my USB was stolen. That was in the normal luggage not to carry on. If you're going to take anything like a PlayStation, you gotta take it on your carry-on like I did.
What about the trip, the long trip in the airplane? How'd you find that?
I just watched movies the whole time. I've spent 16 hours watching movies.
Yeah. And when you landed here first, where did you land?
Cebu.
And what was your first impressions?
You know, I was just sweaty and I wanted to get clean. I wasn't tired though. I don't get tired.
Did you find it too hot, like your first impression?
I mean, it was just the same as Texas. Pizza is completely normal. I don't know why anyone would have complained about the pizza. It's just the same.
So you think the pizza is about the same? Yeah.
Depending on where you go, some places just taste like side dishes, but generally speaking.
Of course, back home you just get in the car and go. Here it's a lot different with transportation.
I mean, it's just take taxis or whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, but where you are now, no taxis available. You have to get in those hobbles or trikes or whatnot. How do you feel about that?
I mean, they're crowded and they're fine if no one else is on it. I don't care if no one else is on it. But if it's more than who you're going with, then no. Those are crowded and annoying.
They're kind of a tight fit, right? Because the people around here are small build and yeah, like the small build type, so it gets a little uncomfortable. And plus you have to bend over a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
The shopping malls and so on, comparatively to home, to here.
I mean, I don't really shop a lot. Mainly buy music, which is no music stores here, but there's no music stores where I was, so it's not really different besides from Walmart. Music is the biggest thing I'd buy. I mean, I get everything else like movies and video games digitally. I mean, outside of that, I get most things online just because there's bigger selections anyway, but that's the same as what I've always done, so it doesn't really change anything for me. I mean, generally speaking, most things are cheaper, but also smaller in quantities, so I don't know if it's overall really that much cheaper in the sense you're getting way less in quantity.
That's a really good point because they are very small quantities, right? So, yeah, that's a really good point. Are you really saving because the quantities are so small in a lot of cases with certain
I
things?
mean, when it comes to like Cheetos or something, I mean, they're like pretty standardized, I think. But when it comes to other things like prepackaged things or even like the sizes of drinks and stuff, generally speaking, they're smaller.
And I know something interesting happened to you at the supermarket.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
So since he's kind of shy about saying it, we'll just keep the camera on him and I'll relate the story since I've seen it. We're at the supermarket and there was about, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 schoolgirls, and they would run up to you and giggle and run away, and then run up to you again and giggle and take a picture and run away.
They took a picture?
You didn't notice that? I noticed it. They took a couple of pictures, different ones. They would run up and take a picture and then run away and laugh. And I thought that was interesting. What'd you think about it?
That was kind of awkward.
It was a little awkward, right? Because you're not used to something like that happening. So, well, I guess they were your fan club. You think so?
I mean, it was really random. It was kind of random.
Yeah. Well, if you had the the choice to stay here for another little while or return to North America, what would you prefer to do?
I mean, generally speaking, it's easier to live for a normal person here than it is over there, unless you have a very competent job.
As for pricing, and you got an apartment here, this is your apartment. Tell us something about your apartment.
Yeah, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom is $115 American.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good deal, right? You think a lot of younger people who are doing like remote work, for example, could survive over here better? What's your opinion?
I mean, generally speaking, yeah, you're not going to really be missing much, especially if you're just doing mostly things online anyway, including entertainment. Like everything I have is pretty much the same exact setup as normally. I mean, my computers and gaming consoles and everything is still set to be just like if it was in Canada. So I mean, the only difference is the time difference, which for me works out better. But
Yeah. So what are some things you do?
games in the morning, since that'll be my normal evening, which makes it easier to do things during the day because I just get that out of the way first. Then I spend most of my time working on a couple of different YouTube channels I got going and my music related content and everything. Soon this will be like a music room in the future, or not this exact one, but upstairs will be the same as this music room. My music collection, which will be a big thing. I mean, there's the iconic playlist and then there's my vlog channel.
You're the Iconic Playlist,
iconicplaylist.com.
iconicplaylist.com.
And there you can see the social media page and the YouTube channel and so forth.
So, do you have any advice maybe for other younger guys like yourself, maybe in your age bracket or so, about coming to the Philippines? Would you recommend, not recommend? What's your thoughts about it?
I mean, it's not really much different overall unless you're doing some really unique things in America, that like going to Disney World every week or something. I mean, unless you're doing specific things that require you to be in that place, and it's not going to be really any different, generally speaking. Besides, it's cheaper overall. And you just want to save money or whatever, even for a couple of years or something, then this is for sure cheaper. You can do that easier. But I mean, if you want things like country concerts or American style things or whatever, then I mean, you're better off not.
Would you recommend like a month to check it out, or try to come over for 2 months?
I mean, a month seems kind of nothing. You need at least probably 2 or 3 or 4.
It's kind of neat. I think that it's a good jump off point to other countries like Vietnam, Japan. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I mean, Japan especially, since Japan is known for all of their video game and music related content and stuff, and concerts and everything. I mean, there's the whole Taylor Swift Eras tour happening and the Queen concert happening with Adam Lambert in like February of Japan.
Right, and I think Manila has some concerts too, right?
Yeah, but generally it seems like all the American bands most times like going to Tokyo or something because it's bigger. I mean, Tokyo is like one of the biggest cities in the world. Justin Bieber sometimes goes to Manila, at least he used to, because I think some of his background dancers are from the Philippines, I'm pretty sure. Well, like I said, I do music-related videos of collecting my CD collection, which I don't have with me at the moment. I will in the future be making that into a music room. But I have my music collection, music-related videos, and so forth, all on the Iconic Playlist, which the hub for that would be the iconicplaylist.com, which has the YouTube, Instagram, and so forth. Also Spotify created playlists as well.
Thank you everybody for checking out what some of the young guys over here think about living in the Philippines.